So far, we've looked into the default transitions that the browser provides when we don't customize anything. But yeah, let's be honest, what is the fun in that? Of course, we want to customize our own transitions so we can make the page transitions of our web app the way we want them. Let's go back for a second to our demo app that we have running here in the browser. We've seen this before. We have the fading transition now that the browser provides by default. Now let's see how we can customize this. Let's say that we want to customize our transition to a sliding transition. This is the sliding transition that you see very often in native apps, where the new page slides in from the right and the old page slides in to the left a little bit, not fully all the way. If we want to implement that, and that's exactly what we're going to do now, first we need to define some animations. Let's define two keyframes, one for the sliding in transition of the page that comes up, the new page, and the sliding out transition or animation actually for the old page that slides out. For the slide in animation, we start from translate x 100%. This means that we translate or move the page 100%, so that's the width of the full page. And 100% means that we translate it on the x-axis all the way to the right. So if we do this here, translate x 100%, it means that the page is pushed all the way to the right. And then we slowly let it animate to translate x 0, which means the normal position of the page. So what this sliding in animation does, it moves the page that is out of the view into the view from the right. Then for the old page, we will define this slide out animation keyframes. What that does is the opposite, or more or less the opposite. It starts from translate x 0, which is the default position of the page, and then it animates to translate x minus 30%. So what that means is that 30% of the width of the page will slide out towards the left. So if we apply both these animations, then the new page will slide in from the right and the old page will slide in to about roughly a third, a little bit less of a third, to the left. And this will give a very nice animation, as we'll see later. And then we have that very famous sliding transition that you see often in native apps. Okay, what I've also done is I've defined a few variables right here on the root. I've defined the animation duration variable, which is 300 milliseconds. And I defined a animation timing function, which is a cubic Bezier. Normally the animation would be linear, so it would translate or it would animate in linear time. But now we make it slightly different. It makes it look a little bit better with this animation timing function. And then both these variables we can use here as animation duration and animation timing function. We want these to apply to both the old view and the new view. So we set these to view transition new root and view transition old root. And recall that the root here is the root element of the page, the HTML element. You can, of course, as I've shown you in the previous lesson, give an animation name or a view transition name, to any HTML element. If you don't do that and you want to animate the root element, so the HTML tag, you can always use the root keyword. So this transition applies to the root, the HTML element. And in this case, it applies to both. Now, we want to customize the animations for the old view and the new view. So the old view needs to slide out a little bit to the left. So we slide this one out with the slide out animation name, which are the keyframes, of course, here. And then on the new view, we set the slide in animation name, which is this one that takes care of sliding in the page all the way from the right. To make the animation a bit more clearer, I've also set a background color on the next view. That's the view that has the red header on the top. I've also given it a background color so you can see the animation a bit more clearer. So let's go to the browser and let's go back to our demo app. Before we had the fading transition, but now when I click the next link, Ta-da! You see it sliding in.